town down in Montego Bay. Well, oh, Caribbean dreams to the making. Steel and stone never breaking. From the San Francisco we elevate. Design Jamaica dominate.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Design Jamaica. In this video, we head to the Golden Parish, specifically May Pen, known as Jamaica's Agricultural Center, as we continue the series, Redesigning Our Townships. We are redesigning the town of May Pen into a city. And guess who is back, peeps? LaSharah! Yes, my cousin. Believe it or not, yeah, I'm a cousin. I know some of the things I'm a man, but I'm a cousin. She's my cousin, yes, from my mother's side. She is like my second or third cousin. Yes, don't lie. Yes, and we both are from May Pen. If you never know that, I'm from May Pen, born and grew, and she also is from May Pen. Both of us is from May Pen. So LaSharah did have to come back for this episode.
Yes, I may have a wit again to do.
A wit more.
No,
explain LaSharah. Explain. LaSharah, didn't I explain this?
Always about May Pen, yet you run Mandeville.
LaSharah, that it was beyond my control. I know me run the left May Pen and go Mandeville Gully. Is my mother? My parents then. They must have left May Pen for me young.
I understand that.
My parents left May Pen with me when I was in primary school.
Bro. Cause
I'm listening to you, LaSharah.
Let me hear the man tell me something. You still live on the uncle, doctor, and auntie Karen roof. You're a big man now.
But
and the body can't tell you if you live on a Philip. You could have returned. Keep on a boat, May Pen is a silver flipping Mandeville.
okay, yeah. No, you look like LaSharah really decided to attack me today. Anyway. What to come to think about it, that's a true May Pen woman right there. I saw them turn. Yes, I saw them turn. Anyway, we are going to move on to the reason why we are here. We are here to redesign the town of May Pen. And certainly, looking at that video behind me that is playing right now, looking at the town, this is the town center. This is what we call the town center. It really need a redesign. For true.
A city center, then call it. We know where you get town center from.
Okay, then, well, she's right. Yes, city center. That's what they call the heart of the town, city center. I even was seeing that during Hurricane Melissa, I was watching on Fox News, that is based in the United States, and they were showing May Pen, that camera that is right in the middle of the town right there. I think it's a Jamaica Eye camera, and they were showing the clock, and Fox News call it downtown May Pen. So yes, so I guess some persons view it as a downtown. However, whatever it's called, town center, city center, downtown, it needs a revamp. It really needs a makeover, and we may have to do the same thing that we did to Old Harbor. But anyway, we'll go to that later. Now, May Pen is one of the towns that has been neglected by both government and the private sector for decades up until today. For a town of its size with over 61k people living in it, the 5th largest city or town or developed area in Jamaica, ranking right behind Montego Bay and just ahead of Mandeville. Even though that status has been challenged many times in favor of Mandeville, it is said many times that Mandeville is the 5th largest, but the stats have shown, if you really look at the stats have shown that May Pen has more people. Mandeville may be larger in size, geographical size, but May Pen has more people than Mandeville. And based on those brutal, inaccurate information that Google has on Jamaica, especially Google Maps and Google in general, based on the brutal, inaccurate information that they have on Jamaica, when you reach to the maps and show you the little something where Google say May Pen, I am going to show you the reason why. It is concealed by many to believe in that May Pen is a small place, but it's not. It's way bigger than you think. But we're going to show you later. With its surrounding suburbs, May Pen recorded a population of over 81,000 residents in 2025. Mapen was once known as the fastest growing town in Jamaica, that them were even considered to turn it into a city back then. And that was back in the late 80s into the 90s. And big up to the former member of parliament, Mike Henry. He was so lobbying for this to happen. However, that status has been shifted to other townships such as Mandeville, Old Harbour and Montego Bay. So the development and population growth is still there but has slowed down in recent years. I mean, this town is one of the town and is the largest of its kind that has been put on the back burner because, you know, it's not tourists, it's not a, you know, it's perceived to be ghetto and it's not, it don't have tourism and it doesn't have, you know, upscale rich areas like other cities across Jamaica. So it has been left on the back burner to rot.
And let me stop it right there. Not all parts of Mapen poor and have ghettos. We have rich areas too. Trenton, places like Genmure, places like Mineral Heights. Yeah, we have rich places too. We have rich neighborhoods too.
Yes, miss.
For those who think that we don't.
Well, you heard her, and that is true. Not all parts of Mapen is poor. We do have some very wealthy neighborhoods too, okay? Yes. And some middle class ones too. We do have some middle class communities in Mapen as well. Now, to what I've been speaking about earlier about Mapen is the largest town of its size that has been left to rot. And let me give you a prime example like this. Mapen is the largest town in Jamaica with only 2 stoplights night. The whole entire town. A town with a population of over 80,000 residents and over 15,000 commuters that passes through this town on a daily basis. Only two traffic signals in the entire town. One at Gideon Tree intersection and the other out by the Bustamante intersection out by the Mapen interchange to go on the toll road. That's all for a town of 80,000 people. No, that is really bad. No, I live in Mandeville and all over Mandeville, everywhere you look, you see traffic light, you see stoplight, all over Mandeville. Mandeville now become the stoplight capital of Jamaica, of rural Jamaica. And you mean to say for a town like Mapen only 2? That is bad. And I remember when the current mayor, when he just came into office, Joel Williams, and I spoke to him on a program. We mentioned there's a program that comes on Thursdays, on YouTube, and I was one of the viewers on that program, and I even asked him about it, and he promised that he was going to put in the lights very soon. That was back in 2024. Now it's 2026 and no traffic lights. Mr. Mayor, I remember, sir. I hope you're going to fulfill your promise. Mapen needs more traffic signals. It needs a proper traffic management system, and the roads are so outdated. They are narrow. They don't have any markings. When rainfall, then flood out. The town need a whole new revamp. Mr. Mayor and the relevant authorities, the NWA, Mapen needs help. And I'm sure you're going to use Hurricane Melissa as a prime excuse. And these problems exist way before Melissa, way before Beryl, even before Ivan. I want to still not fix the problem. Anyway, I hope you now listen and I hope you hear. Anyway, as a true Mapenite, me did just have to get that off my chest. Back to the stats. Now, Mapen is a part of the wider Penn Arbor conurbation area, a sparsely populated area that stretches between Clarendon Park here in Clarendon and all the way to McCookspen in St. Catherine, just outside Old Harbour, taking in both Mapen, Old Harbour and their suburbs. Altogether, which is responsible for a population of over 170k residents. The second largest in Jamaica. Only the Kingston metropolitan region is larger than the Penn Harbour conurbation area. And it is growing. Remember what we mentioned in the Old Harbour video, where Old Harbour is now one of the fastest growing towns in Jamaica and may reach a certain number by 2050. Well, with Old Harbour's growth, this region will hit 210k residents by 2050. This area is growing even faster than Metro Montego Bay and the touristy Metro St. Anne area. And of course, even though Mapen is not growing as fast as Old Harbour, we are still growing because our population stands now at just over 61k residents. So that means by 2050, our population should add another 10,000, bringing us to over 70k residents.
Okay, so now them get it. Mapen big. Now out with the demographics, move on to the economy.
You're not come back from my show. Who bossy? You Miss LaSharah. Anyway, now like our little sister just east of us, Old Harbor, Mapen also has its great share of having multiple and productive industries. The number one industry being manufacturing. Yes, we do have some factories in and around the town. Companies like Tyjul Company Limited, McChem, and also Stewart's Hardware that is either based or headquartered here in Mapen. Those are the companies within the manufacturing realm. And there are quite a few others too. LaSharah, can I name them?
Juicy beef.
Well, we had Juicy Patties, but they moved from Mapen years ago and relocated to Clarendon Park, so they are not included.
Duh.
Anyway, moving on. Mapen is also big on aggregates because, yes, we have a lot of aggregates and marl mines in and around the town. Yes, thanks to the Rio Minnow and other natural features. Citrus is also a big part of the economy, and not to mention agriculture. We are the agriculture center of Jamaica, and it's not because when person hear about Mapen and we talk about the agricultural center, they think that we are like a everywhere you go you see farmer, you see cows, and even though that is the case in some little communities, but what they're really talking about is that it's because we host the Denbigh Agricultural Show on a yearly basis, and that is the reason why we are known as Jamaica's agricultural center. Yes, so it's not because we are country or we are backawall like many of you town people love to think. So don't get it twisted. Thanks, LaSharah. However, even though located outside the limits of Mapen, the largest employers are
Jamaica.
Yes, and the other one, Juicy Patties. Thanks, LaSharah. That's right. So Mapen has an economical niche that has been working for it for years up until today. So we don't need sea and sand to shine. Get it? Okay, so with all of that explained and out of the way now, we are going to go to the reason why we all are here to redesign the town of Mapen into a city.
And with all of that said, me town look good from above. So pretty.
Now, as we zoom into our customized Design Jamaica Google map, the first thing we got to notice, we got to address the map. Now, this little something is what Google said that is Mapen. All of Mapen, that is what Google says is Mapen. However, the limits of Mapen can be viewed in many different ways, because if you're talking about the built-up area, this would be Mapen. That's right, this would be Mapen. But if you are speaking of the entire city limits of Mapen, if you're talking about the entire limits of Mapen, it goes all the way up into the hills next door to Chapelton. This is the true size of Mapen. That's right, so that means if you're all the way up in New Longville, even up into Turner's, Turner's is also a part of Mapen, if you never know. And Turner's is right next door to Chapelton. So may I tell you that the true size of Mapen is almost the same size as the city of Kingston. Mapen is like some cities in the United States, for example, where, I can give you one, for example, Juneau, Alaska, the capital of Alaska, where the core part of the city is a small built-up area, but the vast amount of the city takes in vast mountain ranges and wildernesses hundreds of miles away. So Mapen is something like that. It's not as large as Juneau, Alaska, nothing compare near to it. But just to give you an example of what Mapen is like, there is a large urban side to it, and there's also a large rural side to it up in the hills. Yeah, so Mapen is not like Kingston, for example. All of Kingston is large, and 90% of the city is built up. There's really nothing rural to the city of Kingston. But Mapen, on the other hand, has an urban side to it and a large rural side to it, way up in those hills. So all them lands up in the mountain, you stay down on the plains and looking up into the hills, you are looking at the rural part of Mapen. And to tell you the truth, I didn't know of this until just the other day, like in December, when I was doing some research on the town for this video, and I booked up on a certain map that shows me the true size of Mapen, and I was surprised. It shows me that Mapen is larger than most other towns with more people, like Spanish Town and Portmore is way larger. Mapen is way larger. The land size that is. Yes, that's the type of map you're not going to see on Google. This is what they show you with this little something here, so that is so disrespectful to Mapen and its people. And something tells me that it's not all Google fault too. I think it's coming from our very own local authorities, whether it's from the government or whatever sector there is, because in most instances Mapen has been degraded to look smaller and less important than many other places. Yep, there it is. I said it. No, I don't believe it's all Google's fault. What I think is it is what was presented to them by our local authorities. But people of Mapenites, them can't stop we, no. Them can't stop we. No matter how them try, we just gonna continue to rise. to the utmost. Yes, people of Jamaica and the world, so don't let them fool you. Maypen is a pretty large place and very important too. The town is large. It sits in what, 3 different constituencies? 4. It sits in, it takes up all of Central Clarendon. It takes in part of Southeast, Southwest, and also North Central, a large part of North Central Clarendon. Okay, so it's a pretty large town. Now we are going to zoom in what is called the city center or the town center or Fox News downtown Maypen. Yeah, so as you can see for yourself, people, with that red line, that red circle thing going around there, in what Google Maps presented to you in what is deceiving to be Maypen is really just the town center. That is just the town center of Maypen. As you can see, to the east, like Paisley and Hazard, and to the north you have Effortville Farm, and to the northeast you have Juno Crescent, to the west you have Denbigh. All of those areas they didn't include. So this map is so deceiving. Anyway, as you can see, the town center is so built up, no configurations or anything can be done to what's there. And just like Old Harbour, Maypen was designed the same way. A clock in the middle, one street gone north, one gone south, one gone east, one gone west. You know, the east-west street is a main street, and then you have some little streets turn off, something just like what LaSharah, describe it in the Old Harbour video. Yes, just like that. Maypen is just the same way. And yes, the streets are so outdated and narrow. They are so narrow. One of the main thoroughfares leading into the town from Mineral Heights, Trenton Road. For those who are from Maypen, LaSharah, you know Trenton Road. Yeah, so you live in Mineral Heights, so you have to use Trenton Road to get into the town center across the bridge. If you look at Trenton Road coming into Maypen, is a crying shame. It's a total disgrace. The road is so narrow and outdated. And the fact is that NWA's Maypen office is right on this thoroughfare. That is where the office is, on Trenton Road. And them not see it? Oh my gosh, man. Anyway, we are here to redesign Maypen's CBD, but clearly, as you can see, it is so built up, nothing can be done to it. Nothing much can be done to it. However, there are some empty spaces, and I'm from Maypen, so I know the town pretty well. There are still some empty spaces within the CBD that can be retrofitted and be modernized to look like somewhere. And we are also going to do that. We are also going to upgrade and modernize the main thoroughfares. We're talking like Trenton Road, for example, Manchester Avenue, Muirhead Avenue, Glenmuir Road, the main thoroughfares leading into and out of the town. We are going to modernize, and we are going to widen them and modernize them to make them look like some of the streets in Kingston. But just like we did with Old Harbour, we are going to have to redesign and build a brand new downtown for Maypen, just like we did with Old Harbour. Tell her that Maypen and Old Harbour are sisters. They are truly sisters. They have a lot in common. So we have to do the same thing here. So as you can see, we are going to put the downtown right here, right at the bridge, right on the banks of the river. That is where we're going to put the downtown, the new downtown Maypen. And we are also going to build up right along the river bank, all the way to where they're proposed to build the Diamond Hub, just right by the toll road right there, right by the T1 highway. Right, so these 3 areas right on the outskirts of the town center is what we'll be concentrating on mainly, and then we'll see what can be done within the town center itself and the outer parts of the town. And for all those who know Maypen, know this area quite well and what it's known for, especially when it rains. The river come over and the place flood out, and we are going to correct all of that so that it doesn't happen to our downtown, right? Even crocs sometimes can be seen in the area when the river come down. Yes, and this little area right here was once known as Crocodile Alley. Crocs used to live right here, along the riverbank, back in the day. But in recent times with climate change and the river becomes seasonal, they migrated upstream and some migrated downstream all the way down to Alley. Yes, and LaSharah says she still see them recently. When last you see crocodile come down?
Right after Melissa.
Last year.
Come down right after Melissa. I saw about 4.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so they still pass through from time to time. But no need to worry about that, because how we're going to design our downtown, we are going to do some river training so that the crocs will not get to you. So enough have been said. You get the point. We are going to go straight in and design a new downtown for Maypen.
Nah.
Okay, so as you can see, the first thing we put in is river training. We put in a large retaining walls along the river on both sides of the river, because there will be some new bridges that crosses the river, and the downtown is on both sides of the river, not just one side, both sides. Okay, and we also must acknowledge that even this little area that is called downtown is of itself new, but is really just a smaller part of what is now called the CBD, which is now known as the CBD, which is May Pen proper, or the town center, or what Fox News would say, downtown May Pen. So this is just a smaller part of the wider downtown May Pen. So the whole May Pen proper would now become downtown May Pen. So this new riverfront section by on the banks of the Rio Minnow would now become the face of the city. That's right. So all the tall buildings, all the skyscrapers would be built in this area, because as you know, the current CBD is now just so clogged up that nothing tall or nothing new can be built there. Plus, that is really the current CBD. The current CBD reminds me more of downtown Kingston. The part around Orange Street and parade down that section. That is what the current CBD of May Pen reminds me of. So we need something now like a new Kingston, more upscale, where you find mostly government, banks, building societies, and things like that. So that is what would be located. This would be the financial center of May Pen. So most of the banks and so forth probably would want a branch down here. And of course, we mentioned government. So of course, the parish council will be relocated here, because I think the building that they're in right now either belongs to the courthouse or the courthouse belongs to the parish council. One of you. Plus, we want something more iconic. We want an iconic building that when you look at it, that is the municipal corporation building, rather than the one that they're now in there on 7th Road. Also, the courthouse. We want an iconic courthouse. We want something. May Pen deserve a brand new courthouse. If you take a look at what's there right now on 7th Road, it's a disgrace. So certainly we need a new courthouse, and all those will be relocated right here in this little square right here. Right, this would be the government square, and adjacent to those buildings on the north side, you can see a park, and also on the west side of those buildings, you can see another park. So there will be two green spaces within this area as well. And also along the banks of the river on both sides, there would be green areas as well, green spaces right on the banks of the river, just above the curve walls. Because as you know, the river is deep. If you know May Pen, you know the depths of the Rio Minnow in that area is deep. So the curve walls will have to be some high ones, curve walls, and of course the green space would be right there along those curve walls. And as you know, on those empty lands on 7th Road, just right next to the Methodist Church, the St. James Methodist Church, and just north of Central High School, we are putting a stadium in that area. Yes, so the stadium, so as you know, you have Sporting Central further up in Effortville and so forth. They could play matches here, and of course we could have international friendlies here too. We could have having the Reggae Boys playing international matches here, because it would of course be a world-class stadium. Because of course Kingston is the capital of Jamaica, but everything must not be centered on Kingston. So we can have international matches being played outside of Kingston as well. And of course, when it comes to Central Champs and even Champs 2s, Champs doesn't have to be in Kingston. It can be in other parishes. We could take turns by having other places in Jamaica host Champs. It doesn't always have to be in Kingston at the National Stadium. So it would be good when we have facilities like the National Stadium in other parishes, and this could be one of them. On the east banks of the river, you notice we are putting a medical center, like something junior to the May Pen Hospital, because the May Pen Hospital would be a Type B hospital. But being that the city is now expanding, just like our Mandeville have Hargreaves, May Pen could have something similar to Hargreaves, and this could be it right here. Further north of the hospital, on the east banks of the river, we have a convention center, because certainly there's nothing like that outside of Kingston and Montego Bay. There's nothing else of that kind in Jamaica. So having one here in May Pen would certainly be a plus. Just north of that would be the zoo. Yes, right on the riverbank, the east banks of the river there. We are reserving a green space for the zoo, the May Pen Zoo, our Zoo May Pen. Because as you know, away from Hope Zoo and Jamaica Zoo, we really don't have a lot of zoos in Jamaica. I do believe every parish should have at least a zoo. Every parish should have a zoo. So we are starting, with Clarendon having a zoo for itself. Further down on the east banks, we're going to have a police post. It doesn't have to be a fully functional police station like the one on Brooks Avenue, but as you know, this area will be built up, so it will require another police presence down here. So a post, like a medium size post or a small post will do, to make sure that crime and everything is under control down this section as well. Because they really can't stay on Brooks Avenue and know what's happening down here. So we need 24-hour police presence in this area. When it comes to hospitality, Maypen is not known for hospitality because we are not a tourist town. But when it comes to hotels is not just for tourism. It's not only for resort areas. It is also for business. And Maypen, this area right here, would be the business center of Maypen. So it would be nice to have some, business type hotels like those in Kingston, like a Pegasus or a Courtyard Marriott or something like that. With one or two of them being two nice tall buildings over 12 floors. Being centered right on the banks of the river down here. I've always dreamed of having, like building something in Maypen right down in this area and probably call it the May, like something like that, the May. So it wouldn't have to be a chain hotels, but something like a Versailles. Currently, Versailles is the only hotel within the entire town of Maypen. So it would be good to have more hotels within the city. Transportation, and of course, as you know, Maypen is big on public transportation, and certainly Maypen does need a state-of-the-art modern transport center. And right where the train station used to be, right here in this area, I see they built something there, but I don't even know why the parish council even give those people the authority to build something right here. I mean, trust me, Clarendon have one of the worst parish councils in Jamaica, I can tell you. But anyway, it's government land, so we will have to accommodate a brand new transport center for the town in this area right down here. And of course, even though I personally don't see it happening, but if in case it does come back, the train, the line would still be here, and or to relay the line would still be in this area. The bridge would still be there, the old iron bridge. Even though we're anticipating having a new bridge for vehicular traffic, the iron bridge would still be there for the trains. So yeah. And even if the Maypen bridge is being replaced, we wouldn't want to really get rid of the iron bridge. We want the iron bridge to stay there as an iconic symbol, because that's like a symbol of Maypen, the Maypen bridge. Along with the clock, that is one of the landmarks of the town. So we wouldn't want to really get rid of it. What we want is a brand new bridge to replace with vehicular traffic and let that bridge remain for the train. That is what we really want. And as you know, as regards to the transport center, JUTC is big in Clarendon now. We have several routes. So to have a central point, a central pickup and drop off point within the city for the JUTC buses, especially, this brand new transport center would certainly come in handy, rather than the current roadside pickup and drop off areas further up in the town that they have now. That is like so incompetent and disorganized. And when it comes to domestic infrastructure, I know most of you are concerned about that, like the water mains, the water runoff, the sewage and other utilities. Of course, those will be in place. And of course, JPS, we don't want wires running up and down all over the place like what you have further up in the town. We don't want it down here. Yes, them big black ugly something looking like kaya pin up on the light posts, all them light posts, concrete and wooden light posts. We don't want it down here. The only poles we want to see down here are light poles. We don't want to see no wire stretch go all the way over yonder. We don't want to see it. It must be underground. And that goes for Lyman Digital too, and whichever other utility company down there. We don't want to see no big black wire them around all over the place. They must be underground. As for sewage, a central sewage system will be in place to take care of that, and of course the water runoff. As you know, this is right along the river, so of course there would be gullies and streams that leads to the river. Currently we have the Juno Gully coming from that side, and we have the Market Gully and some other gullies coming from inside the current CBD leading into the river. Those would remain and also be trained and modernized. And I'm going to do a separate video explaining how we could put our utilities underground and have them put in a way where we don't have to dig up our roads. That is coming in a separate video future-wise. Not specifically about Maypen or Clarendon, but right across Jamaica. Like especially when it comes to our CBDs, we don't want to see them big ugly something there and up and down all over the place. They must be underground. So a video like that is coming in the future. Look out for it. Okay, now on to the thoroughfares. As you can see, quite a bit of streets have been created, but we are discussing the I think about 3 of them or 4 of them new thoroughfares, or 3 new thoroughfares, main thoroughfares that have been created. The first one is Clarendon Avenue, and this one that you're seeing right there that stretches across the river, also that will be getting its own bridge across the Rio Minnow. Now Clarendon Avenue will be the spur route to Main Street and Manchester Avenue. This street will be running in the backlands of Maypen all the way from where Howard Avenue meet Chapelton Road. Yes, it will be running all the way coming here into the downtown area across the river, and then intersecting with Trenton Road, Main Street and Paisley Avenue further up on the east side of the river. So this street is really to take away the traffic from, like places like Anderson Avenue, Fernley Avenue, those back streets of Maypen, is to take the heavy traffic away from those streets to this avenue. So if you're coming off Glenmuir Road, or if you're coming from Denbigh and you want to go into the town but you don't want to have anything to do with Manchester Avenue or Main Street, then this is the road that you would take to bypass the town to the north and end up back at the Paisley Avenue, Main Street and Trenton Road intersection. We also have Maypen Avenue that will run along the old rail line that used to go from Maypen to Chapelton along that stretch. So Maypen Avenue will run along this section and then head south along this area, which would be known as Rio Minnow, and then curve west to intersect with Glenmuir Road just as you come off the highway. And then it will continue north through the downtown to intersect with Sevens Road up in the Oliver Gardens area. And I know you can't see the full detail on this map, but in part 2 I will be showing you a larger map that will show you the entire thing. And on the west side of the river we have Rio Minnow Boulevard, which takes you from the Bustamante Highway. Yes, it will intersect with the Bustamante Highway just right beside the Maypen Bypass Bridge, all the way that continues on the banks of the river through the Rio Minnow area into downtown, continues north, intersecting with Riverside Drive right beside this new bridge. And of course, Riverside Drive will run along the east banks of the river from where you see it starts in the north there, that goes through to Sevens Road. So it starts from Sevens Road in in the Oliver Gardens area, crosses the river, stay to the west side of the river, and it will go through the Sunnyside area, most likely intersecting with the Bustamante Highway in Coty Spence. So with these added streets, we are giving you way more options to exit and enter the town center or the city center. Currently there's on the Paisley Avenue, Trenton Road, Muirhead Avenue and Glenmuir Road. So these three now with those four would make it seven ways to exit and enter Maypen. And of course these three new thoroughfares, which is Maypen Way, Clarendon Avenue and Rio Minnow Boulevard, would be built wide enough to accommodate 3 to 4 lanes of traffic, and of course proper walkway for pedestrians. And this video have gotten way too long now, LaSharah. We got to go. Yes, certainly. I told you that Maypen is a town that it can't be covered in one video, so we got to do a part 2. We are coming back for part 2.
Yes, because we're still not sure of the town downstream.
Yes.
Into the Diamond Hub. We still
indeed,
have
the Diamond Hub area, certainly.
So we got to come back for part 2.
However, indeed, LaSharah, certainly we have to come back. But we are not going to come back like next week or further on down in the week. We are going to break off from this series. And probably until the end of January, early February. So probably we'll come back with part 2 in early February, early January. The reason for doing this, I've noticed that the Old Harbour video, we have not gotten enough views for the Old Harbour video like we did for the Black River video. We barely get over 1,000 views for the Old Harbour video, and it took us a few days to get some views for that video. So being that we know so only two in the places like Maypen already.
Yes, the Maypen haters.
Yes, most people don't want to see places like Maypen. They want to see Montego Bay and Ocho Rios, and these are the places they want to see. They don't want to see places like Maypen. So we're not going to shove too much of the Maypen content down on the throat. We're going to go to what we want to see. So
that down the throat argument I kind of so funny.
Your mind too smutty, girl. How do you mind? Dirty mind, girl, LaSharah. Dirty mind. Anyway, yes, we're not going to give you too much of the Maypen content. That sound better? Still sound smutty?
Where are you?
LaSharah.
Where are you them?
You Jamaicans. Oh, Lord have mercy. People can't talk and say certain things without. Anyway, like I said before, we are going to break away from this series for about 2 weeks, and then we are going to design a tram system for the city of Montego Bay. Yes, so we did Kingston already. I'm sure you remember us designing an LRT network system for the Kingston metro area. Well, we are now going to design one for the Mobay metro area, which takes in St. James, St. James, Hanover, and Trelawney. Yes. So that's the video we'll be working on next, and then after that now we'll come back with Maypen part 2 of the series. But in between, go and enjoy some Design Jamaica Light with Amanda, and of course some Jamicate with Avake. Okay, so now this video have gotten way too long. We gotta get out of here. That's it for another episode of Design Jamaica. On behalf of everyone here at DJC, I'm Bro.
And I'm LaSharah.
See you in our next video.
Bye.
This has been Design Jamaica. If you or anyone you know are about content like these and would love to see more content like this one on wide-scale development across Jamaica, please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to DJC, Design Jamaica and the Caribbean. Leave a comment, and please don't forget to turn on your post notification bell so you can be notified whenever new content like these are out, showcasing massive development across Jamaica. And please don't forget, we are still on our goal for 2K subscribers mission by March 31, 2026. Please, people, we are depending on you. Please share the video, no man. Subscribe, no man. Like, no man. Comment, no man. So the algorithm in return will like our content, like our channels, and recommend our videos to more people. That way, our content will be able to reach a wider audience and our channel will grow. It takes a lot of work, time, dedication, research to make these videos. It is not as easy as it seems in front of you on the screen. Literally, it makes no sense making all these videos and the channel is not growing. So please, we are asking for your support. And until next time, my wonderful viewers and subscribers, thank you for watching.
Brought to you by Films by Jawade. Follow us at Films by Jawade on all social media platforms.
We got this.